Alright, dudes, it's Dokkan time. This is Beast Gohan's how to build video. And for the people that just want a quick answer, it's additional. I would appreciate it if you watched most of, even maybe half or a quarter of the video. It helps me out a lot. But let's go over why you should build them full additional. And I do mean full additional. If you have any extra, you will have extra left over. My next suggestion would personally be more into the crit side. So here's the thing about Gohan. Gohan wants to get beat up. He wants to be beat up. I was about to make a nerd joke, but I'm going to pass on that. So in his LR form, he is a superhero master student bond and miraculous awakening key +3 170 leader. He also gives a 200% boost to all those categories that also include Entrusted Will and movie heroes. Now, normally I wouldn't think that that's a lot, but that's actually a pretty decent wide range of units. Now, there could be quite a few units that are just straight up Entrusted Will, that are just 170. Entrusted Will is a funky category, I gotta say. I mean, if we just go over to look at Entrusted Will real quick here, if I can even find it. Is he not actually on Entrusted? Okay, no, he is, okay. So Entrusted Will only has one legitimate leader outside of Gohan. I mean, Gohan isn't really an Entrusted leader. He's more of like a semi-leader. But I mean, you got quite a few on here, but ones that actually match superheroes, Master Bond and Student Bond, and Miraculous Awakening, that's a little bit different. Some of these, I mean, obviously, Beast Gohan himself, Trunks may or may not, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, of course. I mean, I believe they're all on there. Super Trunks is not. I don't believe he is. Yeah, no. Unless he's a Miraculous Awakening, I don't think he is an option either. I don't even think the original Entrusted Will leader is under Gohan's lead, is he? No, he's not. Oh, wait, yeah, he is. 200%. So, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more of a diverse category than I gave it credit for. But anyways, let's get back to the hidden potential building. So he's got greatly raised attack for 1 turn. And raises defense for 1 turn. That's on his 12 key super. So that's a 50 increase and a 30% increase. And then on his 18 key, he stacks the greatly raise, and then he raises defense for 4 turns specifically. That's pretty good. His attack can start climbing pretty high up as the turns go. The only issue I've come to on private servers is that you don't really last long. Like, there's not a lot of stages still in the game that will really take you super high in the turn order. You're not going to see his attack stupidly high, like Broly status, hitting like 25 mil. You definitely can. It's just very unlikely unless you fully build him up. He does have an a unit ultra super attack. A union attack, whatever you want to call it. Basically, as long as Piccolo is on the rotation, then he can actually do that union attack. Greatly raises attack still, greatly raises defense still. The big key difference between his normal 18 key and this 18 key with a Piccolo on the rotation is that raises allies' chance to perform a crit by 20%. That is absurd. And helps out so much. I love this. I love it so much. It's so nice. And then disables action in the turn. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty good. Very, very good. Very, very broken. He has the entrance animation. Key +8 and chance to perform a critical hit. And reduce damage received by 40% for 5 turns from first appearance. So here's the thing. Once you get elapsed the 5th turn, you don't really feel the key loss too much. You feel it a little bit, but not too much. And that's because of his other later buffs in his passive. The only difference is that you'll notice towards the later parts of a fight, you will feel that you need to gain like maybe 1 or 2 more key spheres. Maybe probably just even 1. in general, as long as you hit 24 key, it doesn't really matter. The big thing here is, though, is he does lose that 40% damage reduction, and you'll feel a little bit of difference, but as long as you've been keeping him on rotation, keeping his 18 key supers going off, there should be no issue with his defense, even with the 40% loss right there. Key +3, attack and defense 250%, guards against all attacks. That is one heck of a huge increase. Not very many units in the game have 250% boost like that, and that aren't like a transformation or something like that. Even transformed or standby finished units don't really have that high of a attack and defense buff. It's really wild. Gain an additional attack +50% when gaining an additional chance to perform a critical hit +20% when key is 24 or more. So basically at 24 key, you get extra 50% boost attack, and you have 20% chance to crit right off the bat. Remember, a level 1 critical in your hidden potential is equal to a 2% chance, because every node of critical and additional are 2% chance to do those. So that means a 20% chance being able to critical right off in his passive like that. He has a level 10 hidden potential, basically. He doesn't. I'm just giving you an example of what it would feel like. He also has gain additional defense at 80% and reduces damage received by 20% when key is 24 again. Notice what I said before is that you really want to get that key at 24. This is why, because 2 parts of his passive are connected to 24 key. So that defense boost does make a difference. You will feel it. You will feel it quite a bit, especially on certain super attacks that come at you in later parts of the fight. And the damage reduction almost feels mandatory. Gain key +1 in addition per key sphere obtained. Perform an additional super attack, and all allies key +3 for the turn other than this character after receiving an attack. So you really want to put him in slot 1. You really want to give him 24 key. Perform an additional super is really nice. He has a free additional super as long as he gets hit first. He's got to get hit, though. Key +1 per attack received up to 5. So that's what I was saying earlier about his entrance. Once you lose his entrance, you'll feel a little bit of key loss. But by the time that you hit that point, you'll still have that key +5 pretty much at all points of time, and you should feel fine. He gains an additional attack and chance to perform a crit +20% per attack received during the turn. So kind of like Gogeta, but opposite. Gogeta in his blue form, every time he dodges, he gets 20% key. For Beast Gohan, he gets 20% per attack received rather than dodge, which is a much better. But keep in mind, this is within the received attack during the turn. So ideally, you would want to put him slot 1. If he uses active, ideally you want to put him in slot 3 or slot 2. It really just depends on where you think the fight's going to go. If you think you're going to end the fight with Gohan, or you're not going to see him again, like you're not going to get to this rotation that you have up, then put him in slot 3. Make sure he has his active. He takes all the attacks during the turn. He's auto-critting. He's doing crap loads of damage. So yeah. Gain an additional chance to perform a critical hit and reduce damage to you by 20%. And all allies keep +2 starting from the turn in which this character has performed their 5th attack or received their 8th attack. More than likely, you will hit that 8th attack faster than you will that 5th attack. Gohan can only a maximum super of 3 times with the hidden potential in a turn. More than likely, a lot of times, I would say that you'll get hit 4 times on turn 1, and probably another 4 times on turn 2, so long as he's a slot 1 unit, or you focus wherever all the attacks are coming in. So, but with all of that in mind, I mean, he's got loads of critical chance up in here. He's giving critical chance. He's got additional free additional built in. But here's the thing: if you didn't notice, he has to get hit. Okay. Before we go over the rest of this, E +24, defense 158%, redirects all attacks to him, and performs a crit for the turn. So he gets a free crit, when he performs the active skill. I don't know why, because he doesn't need that free crit. He's going to get free crits as long as you place him correctly. But it is nice to know that that's what happens. That defense buff of 158% really does go a very long way. I will say, this right here, gain an additional attack and chance performed a critical hit plus 20% per attack received during the turn is crazy. Because here's the thing, only the key is maxed out on that. That means if you put this fool into slot 3 and there's no attacks in the actual literal last attack point, you know, after your third slot would attack, it's entirely possible you could get, usually big boss fights now have at least 10 attacks. That means you're getting hit. You're getting 200% attack. That is insane. Just the overwhelming amount of attack you can get out of a turn, not including any like off-turn support or just any support on the turn. I mean, it's absolutely wild. And I will say this, he 100% gives Ultimate or Beastless Gohan a brand new breath of life in him with all of his links going off. They just both hit absurdly. And I'll be honest, Ultimate Gohan, he hits harder. Not actually harder, but his attack stat and his defense can actually be higher at certain points of the fight because of his extremely high attack and not defense, but extremely high attack and very good build up if you get lucky with RNG. Because he's got a 22,000 attack stat, whereas even the Beast Gohan only has a 20,000 attack stat. It really does make a difference. But because he needs to get hit pretty much constantly, you do not want to put dodge into him. This is a Super Saiyan 4 full power Goku instance where dodge actually hurts the unit. Now, I mean, obviously there's going to be people that just straight up, you know what, spite, you know, they spite and they're just like, you know what, screw you. I'm going to do it anyways. I just would advise against it. Just give him a full additional, put the rest into crit, and just dominate this game, man. This dude, this is... I was about to say something. I'm not going to say it. This is the #1 unit in the game. There's no question about that. If you do not believe Beast Gohan is the #1 unit in the game, I'm sorry, you're just wrong. He cannot be killed currently. The only way that he can get killed is if it's basically a maxed out damage stat. So if you take him up against Golden Frieza in the Red Zone 2, he can die from the STR phase of Golden Frieza if you do not kill him fast enough. That is the only instance that I have found that you can really lose if you're running a double Gohan. I really haven't seen really too many other instances where you could die. This dude is just insane. He takes priority over every other unit, in my opinion, right now. So, but anyways, guys, let me know how you decide to build your Beast Gohan, and I hope you have a good day and a good night.